Udah mulai.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, today I will going to tell you all about a folk tale or a legend story from West Sumatra. We all know this story, and I think a story is very good for us or to take a lesson in his life. And I want to retell a legendary story about Malin Kundang. Next slide, please. Once upon a time, there lived a widow with a boy in the rustic beach of Air Manis Padang in West Sumatra. Next. The widow's name is Mande Rubaya, and the boy name is Malin Kundang. Mande Rubaya has been most fond and indulged in the Malin Kundang, sorry. And Malin Kundang is a diligent and obedient child. And as Malin grew up, Malin Kundang couldn't bear to see her mother working continuously to provide to their living. And next. In this light, Malin Kundang pay attention to going to the country to work, bringing back great riches for his mother, and until one day, a large majestic ship was in the port. Immediately, Malin sought his mother permission, and Malin asked her mother, "Mom, let Malin go to the land beyond." And his mother was sad to hear that and say, "No, not it to be Malin. I'm afraid it will be according to you in the land of the hills. Stay here with me, please." "But Mom, I want to change our situation for be better. This is my change to find a single large ship more on this beach," is Malin say to her mother. And finally, with a heavy heart, Malin's mother, gave her permissions to go aboard. And Malin's mother says, "Sure, son, when your mind is made up, I'll let you. And as long as you don't forget about Mom and come back here." And eventually Malin Kundang joined the Whitley merchant, who was anchored near his village. And as long as story short, thanks to persistence, perseverance, and Malin's spirit, he was able to change fortunes. He had become a wealthy merchant. And Malin Kundang has many sheep, and his life is no longer difficult. Malin Kundang has also married with a beautiful high-born girl. Next slide. In this part, while he was back home, his mother always wait for Malin's return. Her mother ran over to every ship that came ashore, hoping Malin would be on board. But a constant disappointment because her son wasn't on the ship. Days turned and years turned. Malin's mother was getting old and ill, and yet he faithful waits for his beloved son to return. The next slide. In this slide, in this part, until one day, a big time was anchored near at the beach of Hermanis. Looking at it, Malin's mother ran toward the vessel. And next, this when it approached the beach, a young couple are standing near the bridge. In the bridge, his heart quickness at the sight of the young man aboard. Malin's mother believes that the young man is Malin Kundang, her son, and she was able to identify them instantly by Malin's birthmark. And when Malin got off the boat, instantly Malin's mother ran and hugged Malin's thigh and wept. And in this situation, Malin's mother cried and say, "Malins, my child, you're still alive." Malins was surprised to be hugged by an old, rich woman in dirty clothes. Malins recognized that it was his mother, but was as ashamed to admit it. How will he explain to his wife, "It is mother really your mother, brother?" asked Malin's wife. "Didn't you say that your mom was in our pants?" asked Malin's wife again. And in this next slide, please read next slide. Uh, in this slide, the sign of his wife, Malin Kundang finally returned and said that it was a beggar who was claiming to be my mother to earn more money. And Malin exclaimed, "She is not my mother. She is my beggar to claim to be my mother to for more money." And then, "Old man, my mother was not like you. You look very poor and dirty," said Malin, pushing his mother to the ground. And then Malin asked his crew to drive him off Raglan, preparing to leave the village to sail. And Mande Rubaya, as Malin's mother, not believe in his treatment. The child who has been considered condescended to do such a thing. He then prayed with pain in his heart, "O my Lord, if he if he is not my son, I forgive him for what he did. But if he is indeed my son Smaling Kundang, I curse him to be a stone." He uttered purely in tears. And in the next slide, in seven slide, and nine slide, read next slide. After Malin's mother walked home, suddenly the clouds in the sky went dark. The wind blew hard, and the storm swept the ship away. Lightning and raging waves. At the very moment, the ship sank into thin air. And and then next next slide, Rip. And then next day, at the foot of the hill, we saw pieces of the ship being returned to stone, and that's Malin Kundang ships. Not far from it, it should look like human. It is said that the body of Malin Kundang was turned to stone because of his dis- disobedience and was curse of his mother. And next, okay, and that's all about my retail story. Many lessons we can learn from this legendary Malin Kundang. One is Malin Kundang persistence, patient for this changing his fortunes for the better, and yet qualities we should never imitate are pride and vanity, and disobedience to parents is a fatal mistake. And because no matter how rich you are, we can never repay the kindness that our parents have shown us in raising and loving us as children. Okay, guys, if you have a question,
I
hmm? Yeah, yes.
have a question.
Okay.
Okay, so my question is, are you really believe if the stone was actually Malin Kundang, like it's really Malin Kundang, or it's just like it's just like a usual stone, just an ordinary stone? Yeah,
Hmm.
thank you.
Okay. Another else? Okay, I will answer question I asked. I think it's I don't believe that story. Actually, I don't believe about Malin Kundang return apa to be a stone, but it is a legendary story, and we can uh, we can to learn about the lessons for from this story, and then I like this big story because apa ya, kayak banyak pelajarannya gitu loh kalau misalkan disandingin dengan keadaan kita sekarang. Kalau soal percaya nggak percayanya ya nggak percaya sebenarnya. Kalau misalkan ada orang yang bisa berubah atau dikutuk ya karena itu legenda ya. Menurut saya ya relevan aja gitu loh dengan apa yang udah dia lakuin sama ibunya sendiri itu.
Okay, thank you, Arya.
Oke. And yang lain? Enough? Okay, and I think that's all about my retail. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.